Ooh, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Let's see here. I don't know what to say. It's definitely been a morning. Yeah, right? And I know I'm starting like way early than the original time, but I figure since I'm ready, we might as well go ahead and get in here and see who's testifying in regards to our guy who was just Mr. Jose, who was convicted of unaliving his pregnant mistress. I wonder how many people they're going to have talking. Hey, good morning, Pretty Brown. How are you? I know I got our schedule all over the place today. I don't even know what we doing today and how we doing it. I'm like, we got the other sentencing case, and then I definitely want to get in here and we gonna watch this the plotting parents one. So we'll do that one next, and then I'll the sentencing case I'll kind of do that in the evening. That's not a big. You say you got all your notifications on. We shall figure it out. Yeah, but I definitely want to get into that. They doing opening statements this morning. But I had another engagement this morning that I couldn't like push. So I was like, shoot, it is what it is. We gonna have to start late and try to figure them all out in one scoop. But regardless of the fact, we'll get them all covered in some shape, way, form, or fashion. So for this one, let's see. Yeah, right. Multitasking. That's definitely the thing. I am going to go ahead. Oh, sorry, my bad. I am going to get us in the courtroom so I can kind of see what they are talking about in regards to our guy today for his DP. I don't know. I wonder if I don't know who all they putting on for him um, to represent him. But we'll soon find out. I don't think these are typically that long, but we shall see. I don't know. I feel like I'm discombobulated. I think because I started so late, I be feeling like lost. Yeah, there will be impact statements. You got that right. I just wonder who would do an impact statement on his behalf because he tried to throw the wife up under the bus. So that ain't gonna work. And I can't remember who else he tried to throw up under the bus. The nephew, right? The nephew. Yep, he tried to throw the nephew up under the bus. Well, I'm gonna get us in here. Do you? I got it. I got it. Yeah, I got it on. I got it. I don't know. We haven't been doing well with that this morning. I said, I'm gonna have me a soda. I'm gonna get me a soda. But the one good thing is with all these trials, I'm waiting for my coffee cup to come. That's what I could tell you. It might be here. I have to. Our good morning, Jason. They are at our mailboxes is like in one area, and I'll be so lazy. I don't be want to go get it. So I don't know if it's here or not. I have to check and see if they send me alert. But I'm assuming since all of you guys got one. Yeah, Jason. I figured since I got finished with what I needed to do this morning early, I better start early considering we got all types of mess going on. Hey, Allison, good morning. Oh, we changed the picture. Is that a new one? Yeah, I was like, I don't even know which one we should cover and how we should cover it, but I know I really want to see the new case too. So we'll figure it out. That's for sure. Yes, I'm hoping when it does come, even though I don't make my coffee at home, I'm gonna go get my coffee from McDonald's and then I'm gonna pour it into my ooey cup as soon as it get here. I said that cup probably don't hold much as much coffee as I needed to hold. I might not need two, three of them cups. And I'll be running back and forth all day. Okay, well, I am going to go ahead and get us in here so we can get this part started. I don't even think it's any testimony. I think that this, not testimony at this point in time, and I think that they still gonna be doing some legal stuff. So let's see. Hey, good morning, Baka.
President, we were going to be instructing the jury. The jury clerk apparently told our four alternates who reported downstairs that they were not needed and sent them home. They're being retrieved. One of them, I'm told, is 30 minutes out, but that was 5 minutes ago. Lacey Clark. But we're also trying to get the Zoom to work on the courtroom, but that'll be working when we need it. Mr. Burns wanted to address some scheduling issues, though, which we have an opportunity to do that now since we're not ready with the jury.
Yes, Your Honor, I have run into some difficulties. By we, I mean the defense, have lost roughly two-thirds or thereabout of our anticipated penalty phase witnesses. This is due to the public nature of the trial and the attendant social media yammering about it. I have many witnesses who have been contacting me since the verdict saying I can't do it. People are saying things already. I'm going to get mean comments. I'm going to get trouble at work. People are going to look at me crosswise. It's not the type of situation that could be remedied by serving them with subpoenas and bringing them in here in this circumstance where I'm begging for a man's life. I can't have witnesses shooting daggers at me 90% of the time and spending the other 10% of the time glaring at Jose. If they don't want to be here, I cannot use them, is the practical nature of it. So my plans have been quite upset in the past few days, but I'm gonna have to work with what I have. What I have at this point is a prison expert who is available to testify remotely this afternoon, beginning at 1 o'clock. He's available at any time from 1 to 5. I have a lady who knows Mr. Soto Escalera in previous years. She, I think, can come and testify in person this afternoon. That is all I have ready for this afternoon. I do have, I believe, 4 of Mr. Soto Escalera's family members flying down from Connecticut. I thought that they were getting on a very early flight this morning. It turns out they're not leaving from LaGuardia until 3 o'clock this afternoon. I will not have a chance to interview them and find out exactly what they are going to say and whether it will be contradictory to other people in the family as to what they have to say. There is some difference in perception between older members of the family and youngers. And so I'm not sure who of the 4, maybe all, maybe 1, maybe 2, that I will end up using. Mr. Richardson, of course, has expressed an interest in deposing these witnesses beforehand. So I'm not sure what exactly I'm suggesting there, but it's going to be a late night for me and Ms. Minton. These witnesses would presumably be available to testify tomorrow. And that's about as much as I can update the court right now.
And Judge, can we just approach for a bench conference, because I don't want the rest of this that I need to lay on the record aired on court TV.
Sure.
Thank you.
She need to address, and she doesn't want the rest of this to be on court TV. Well, so what? We don't care. Y'all don't have y'all stuff together. The jury not there. They got all types of issues.
We'll be speaking in Spanish. We will need an interpreter for that.
Okay, court certified interpreter.
And Judge, we'll need them here at 8:30 because the state intends to interview our witnesses at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow
Okay.
morning, so that the interpreter can interpret for the state.
Thank you. Let me sure who's in charge of the interpreters now.
Look like they need a lot more time.
I will let Deputy Court Administrator know.
Yeah, Allison. The last time she had red. You had different colors this entire trial.
It looks like you're getting in now. Yep. So what I'm going to do, Tim, I'm going to leave it on, but there'll be no audio for them, but I'll just, actually, now that we're good, before we break, we'll restart it because it times out. So I'll just shut it off, but we've got the Zoom working now. Okay. You go off the record. In addition to re-admonishing them about the media coverage and not to talk to anyone, I should tell them there are timeline. What I think is, it's going to be a little quick this morning. We're going to have some witnesses this afternoon, have witnesses tomorrow morning, then the case will be argued to them tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, they're going to come in here for all of about 15, 20 minutes, and I'm going to release them to 1 o'clock, and they're going to be wondering what the heck is going on and maybe start getting concerned about their own time. So if I do that, it's kind of preparing them for what's going to happen. Is that all? What I'll say is, I'm thinking of saying, because as they'll see, there's a lot of logistics involved with the nature of this proceeding. It takes some maneuvering and adjusting, and that's what's caused the situation. They shouldn't be concerned about that. And just once they know, we'll have the case submitted to them tomorrow afternoon. They should be fine. All right, we're still waiting for that other juror to come up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go off the record. She's there? Okay. Oh, okay. All right, so it looks like you've got a few minutes to prepare your video, audio, which you're preparing. All right, the jury is present. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And before we get started, at this juncture in the trial, I know that I have drilled into your heads, hopefully successfully, to be sure to avoid any media coverage of the case. Also, not to talk to anyone about the case, including your fellow jurors, although we're past deliberations in the guilt phase, but that rule applies now too at this time. Don't talk to each other about this point in the trial until you go back to deliberating the case. But because of the vast media attention that this case has attracted, want to be absolutely sure to reiterate to you, although I think I've got the message clear once again, in an abundance of caution, please don't talk to anyone about the case. And I appreciate that you are following the court's instructions in that regard, so that you base this part of the proceeding only on the evidence presented in court that you've already heard in the guilt phase of the trial and that you will be hearing during the sentencing phase. Before we get started and I give you instructions about this part of the proceeding, I do want to tell you in advance, give you an idea of logistically, procedurally, how we're going to be going forward over the next 2 days. And my primary goal there is to assure you that our intent is to submit this case to you for your decision tomorrow afternoon. Cases at this juncture involve great logistical challenge that are beyond the control of the attorneys. They do the best they can, but witnesses will be called who are either at or coming from very far away places, and y'all are aware of what is involved with travel. So therefore, what's going to happen this morning, we're going to have some very brief testimony this morning. We're going to break. We're going to start this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We're going to have some testimony this afternoon. And then after that, we'll break. We'll come back tomorrow morning, have some testimony in the morning. And then the goal would be to submit the case to you with arguments and instructions on the law in the afternoon where the case is submitted to you. The reason I'm telling you that is I anticipate some of these breaks could be significant beyond what we would normally have done during the guilt phase. So I just want you to be prepared for that, and also not to concern yourself with it, just to be patient. But I think it'll help you being patient if you know the grand scheme as far as when the case will be submitted to you, which is tomorrow. So I believe your participation in this matter will be ended tomorrow afternoon. That's the schedule. So now that I've explained that, members of the jury, you have found the defendant guilty of one count of first-degree murder of Tanya Wise and one count of first-degree murder of her unborn child. The only issue before you in this phase of the trial is to determine the appropriate penalty as to these crimes. The penalty for each of these crimes is either life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. Before proceeding further, it will be helpful if you understand how this proceeding will be conducted. The attorneys will have an opportunity, if they wish, to make an opening statement. The opening statement gives the attorneys a chance to tell you what evidence they believe will be presented during the penalty phase of this trial. As you know, what the lawyers say during opening statements is not evidence, and you are not to consider it as such. After the attorneys have had the opportunity to present their opening statements, the state and the defendant may present evidence. Witnesses may be called to testify under oath. If so, they will be examined and may be cross-examined by the attorneys. Documents and other exhibits also may be produced as evidence. This evidence, along with the evidence that you heard during the guilt phase of this trial, is presented for you to determine whether the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the alleged aggravating factors. If so, you must weigh whether the proven aggravating factors are sufficient and whether the aggravating factors outweigh any mitigating circumstances the defendant proves by the greater weight of the evidence. Finally, you will decide whether the defendant should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or to death. At the conclusion of the evidence and after argument of counsel, you will be instructed on the law that will guide your deliberations. An aggravating factor is the only circumstance recognized by Florida law that could result in a defendant receiving the death penalty. An aggravating factor increases the gravity of a crime or the harm to a victim beyond the harm inherent in every first-degree murder. You must unanimously agree that an aggravating factor was proven beyond a reasonable doubt before it may be considered by you in arriving at your sentencing decision. The aggravating factors alleged by the state in this case as to both victims are: 1, as to both victims, that the defendant was contemporaneously convicted of another capital felony. This is based on the conviction as to the victim involved in the other count. As to both victims, the capital felony was committed for financial gain. That's number 2. Number 3, as to both victims, the first-degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. The term cold means the murder was the product of calm and cool reflection. The term calculated means having a careful plan or prearranged design to commit murder. A killing is premeditated if it occurs after the defendant consciously decides to kill. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law does not fix the exact period of time that must pass between the formation of the premeditated intent to kill and the killing. The period of time must be long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. The premeditated intent to kill must be formed before the killing. However, in order for this aggravating factor to apply, a heightened level of premeditation, demonstrated by a substantial period of reflection is required. A pretense of moral or legal justification is any claim of justification or excuse that, though insufficient to reduce the degree of murder, nevertheless rebuts the otherwise cold, calculated, or premeditated nature of the murder. And aggravating factor number 4 relates only to count 2, the murder, first-degree murder of the unborn child, and that is the victim of the capital felony was a person less than 12 years of age. Once the state has presented evidence of the existence of aggravating factors, victim impact evidence may be presented. Such evidence is only presented to demonstrate the victim's uniqueness as an individual and the loss to the community by the victim's death. However, victim impact evidence must not be considered by you as an aggravating factor. Mitigating circumstances. A mitigating circumstance can be anything that might indicate the death penalty is not appropriate for the defendant. It is not limited to the facts surrounding the crime. In other words, a mitigating circumstance may include any aspect of the defendant's character, background, or life, or any circumstance of the offense that may indicate the death penalty is not an appropriate sentence in this case. Whether a mitigating circumstance has been proven is an individual judgment by each juror. A mitigating circumstance need not be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but must be proven by the greater weight of the evidence. After the evidence has been presented, the attorneys will have the opportunity to make their closing arguments. Following the closing arguments by the attorneys, the court will instruct you on the law. After the final instructions are given, the alternate jurors will be released, and you will begin your deliberations. You should not form any definite or fixed opinion until you've heard all the evidence, the arguments of the lawyers, and my instructions on the law. Once again, until that time, you should not discuss the case among yourselves or anyone else by any means whatsoever. Your decision must be based solely on the evidence or lack of evidence and the law. The same rules and procedures regarding your possession and use of cell phones apply to this phase of the trial as well. At the end of the case, while you are deliberating, you must not communicate with anyone outside the jury room, and you cannot have in the jury room any cell phones, computers, or other electronic devices other than those that we would provide to you as we did in the guilt phase. Once again, you must not conduct any investigation of your own. The same rules continue to apply. Just as in the guilt phase of this case, a defendant has the absolute right to remain silent. From the exercise of a defendant's right to remain silent, a jury is not permitted to draw any inference regarding the existence of an aggravating factor or an appropriate sentence, and the fact that a defendant did not take the witness stand must not influence your sentencing decision in any manner whatsoever. We now begin with the opening statements of the attorneys, and the state may proceed with its opening statement.
Morning, everyone. All right, so as you've already found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder of Tanya Wise and first-degree murder of what would be her second son, the defendant's fifth child, Josiah Wise. And as the judge just explained to you, all of the evidence that was introduced during the guilt phase applies in the penalty phase. So all of the evidence that you learned, all of the testimony, that all applies in this case. And if you need to bring it, it'll go back with you again if you need it. So what is the first step that we talked about? And this goes back to jury selection. The state has to prove each of the aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt. And what you'll see when you go back and you think about the evidence that from the guilt phase applies to this case is that has all been proven. Each one of those have been proven by beyond a reasonable doubt. And the judge talked to you about 4 different factors. 3 of them apply to both victims. And when we talk about both counts are independent of themselves. The defendant can get a death sentence on both counts. He can get a death sentence on one or the other. He can get death for first-degree murder of an unborn child, or he can get the death sentence on just Tanya Wise. He can get life on both counts. That's your decision. But what the evidence that was presented in this case already shows is that each and every one of those aggravating factors has already been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And when you use your common sense, it's pretty clear, because what's the first one? Contemporaneous, there's a capital conviction. Both of the murders you've already found him guilty of. That's what that factor is. It's been proven you've already found him guilty of both murders at the same time of both the victims. That factor's been proven beyond reasonable doubt. What's the next one? Financial gain. How has that been proven? He told us in the garbage truck, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose it. He needs to stop this before he has another child. It's going to ruin his marriage. It's going to cost him money. There's a potential for there to be a separation. He's got a new child to take care of. He wanted to eliminate the possibility of his wife finding out and the existence of him having another child. He did this for a financial gain. He tells Eric Alvarado days and times over and over again, what is his situation? It's been proven beyond reasonable doubt. The fourth one that applies to just the victim, once again, you use your common sense. You think about this, the victim was less than 12. We know the gestational age of the baby. She was 8 months pregnant. Once again, the evidence that's already been presented in this case proves that beyond a reasonable doubt. So when you go back there, the first step should be those three easily proven beyond a reasonable doubt. What is the last one? It was done in a cold and calculated and premeditated. And the judge, he defined those to you. Cold is a cool, calm reflection. Let's go back to the garbage truck video. He planned this out for days, over and over again. He drives around in his garbage truck discussing, should I do it this way? Should I blow her brains out? Should I choke her? Would it be easier to get it done with one blow and be done with this? They look at many different spots of where he's going to dump the body. Is anyone going to find her out here? He thinks about what her life is like. No one's going to be looking for her. He talks about how he's going to lure her out there. It's all been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Any one of the four aggravating factors in and of itself can justify the death penalty if you go through the whole process and you follow the laws instructed by the judge. All four of them can, but each one is independent of itself, and the first step is, do you find that there are aggravating factors? And the evidence shows yes, all four of them are there. Now, do those aggravating factors justify the death penalty? Yes, I encourage you that they do. And when you go back and you look at all of the evidence in this case, you look at the aggravating factors, you consider the mitigating circumstances, the appropriate sentence is the death penalty in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. And the defense is in a position to make an opening statement at this time, Mr. Burrows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good morning. I have waited long to address you, but more about that later. The state will, I think, likely prove, probably already has, that this killing was done coldly and calculatedly and premeditatedly. I think they're going to prove that to you. So I think you probably will have an aggravator in your pocket. And I think regarding the victim, Josiah, who looked in the autopsy photos so much to me like a newborn baby, I think you're certainly going to find that he is under the age of 12. And this is the opportunity where I will tell you what the mitigators will be and what my witnesses will be and who they will be and what they will say. And I would love to tell you all about it, but I don't know. Since the conviction, many of my witnesses have melted away. They won't be here. Victims of their own moral cowardice, in my opinion. I could compel their appearance by subpoena, but I'm here to beg for a man's life, and I don't want people in the witness chair who don't want to help me do that. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen beyond this afternoon. This afternoon, I will present a witness. His name is Raul Banasco. He is an expert in prisons, in the Florida prison system. He's worked in Florida. He's worked in other states. And he will tell you about the prison system and how Jose will fit into it. If you do vote to condemn him to death, I think your knowledge and common sense tells you that he will exist as a prisoner for years until that happens. And if you should vote for life without possibility of parole, then he will exist in prison forever and ever. And Real Benasco will tell you how that might be, so that you have a fuller picture there. You will also hear from a lady who knew Jose a long time ago, knew him well, knew him intimately. She will come in and testify. She, at least, is not afraid of what people on social media might say about her. She will come in difficult circumstances and tell you a little bit more about Jose. That's all I have for this afternoon. The judge mentioned travel problems. That's my witnesses. We have a problem wrangling them and getting them here from Connecticut. I do expect that we are going to have some of Jose's family members arrive this afternoon in Palm Beach. We will speak to them this evening. The state will have a chance to speak to them tomorrow, and you will hear from one or two or three or maybe all four of them tomorrow. I'm not sure how many are actually going to get on the plane. And so I don't want to leave you in a mystery. I wish I could tell you who's going to be here and what they're going to say, but you and I will learn together probably. But the thrust of the matter is that you will have plenty of mitigators to consider. And because I am missing witnesses, will probably alter and enlarge some portions of my intended argument that will be addressing what it might mean to you and how you will make your moral decision. As you have learned in jury selection, it's your own personal moral decision. I'm going to offer you, how about that, some guidance in that way. So you will hear some witnesses for the defense this afternoon. I think you will hear from some of Jose's family members tomorrow. And then I think you're going to be making your decision or retiring to deliberate about it at some point tomorrow. That's all I have for you right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. And the state may proceed with its case.
Yes, sir. The people of the state of Florida call Elizabeth Bedolla.
Please stop right here. Raise your right hand and face the clerk.
Do you swear affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Over that with you. Stand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've testified before, but go ahead and state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
My name is Elizabeth Bedolla. It's Bedolla.
Okay. And again, just for the sake of clarity, go ahead and state your relationship with Tanya Wise.
Tanya was my daughter.
Okay. And did you prepare a written victim impact statement?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as court's exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this statement?
Yes.
Is that the statement that you prepared for the jury today?
Yes.
Okay. When you feel like you're ready, please go ahead and read that statement to the jury.
My name is Elizabeth Bedolla, and I am the mother of Tanya E. Wise and the grandmother of her unborn son, Josiah Thomas Wise. I am here to speak about the loss of my Tanya and Josiah and how their death has forever changed my life and my family's life. Tanya was lovable, caring, a devoted mother. She had a beautiful soul and was always willing to help and take care of her family. She enjoyed being a mother more than anything in the world. She loved spending time with her son Jamar, playing with him, cheering for him in all his events, and making sure he always felt loved and supported. Tanya was so excited about becoming a mother again. She always spoke about giving birth and how great of a mother she would be once more. She had so many dreams for Jamar and Josiah, dreams of raising them guiding them, creating happy life together. Those dreams were stolen from her, from us, from the child who will never have a chance to grow up with his loving mother. Every memory with Tanya was special. I clearly remember the last time we were together as a family. Her stepdad, her son, Tanya, and I went to the beach. We laughed, we played, we had so much fun. It was one of the happiest days we had together, and I will cherish it forever. Another beautiful moment that I remember was her baby shower, surrounded by family, celebrating new life that we were waiting for to welcome. Those were the last 2 times we had with Tanya. That were memories I will hold on in my heart for the rest of my life. The emotional impact of losing my Tanya and Josiah is unbearable. I cannot sleep at night. When I do, the nightmares are horrific. Birthdays, holidays, and even simple dinners bring so much emptiness, loneliness, and pain because she's not there. I'm unable to function properly at work or in my daily life. I miss her so much. My baby girl. She was my baby girl, my only girl. And losing her has broken me in many ways I cannot explain. The grief is overwhelming. I live in constant pain, not only in my body, but also in my heart. A heart that never goes away. It never goes away. I'm angry. I'm angry because I don't have Tanya and Josiah here with me to love and joy and share my life with every day. They should have been here. Instead, I'm left with grief, sadness, and memories. That anger is part of my pain and it will never leave me. I still have problems accepting that she's gone. I catch myself thinking that she will be here with us tomorrow and that I hear her voice or see her smile. But tomorrow comes and she's still not there. That reality is crushing and it's something that I struggle with for the rest of my life. Her son, Jamar, who was only 8 years old at the time of her mother's murder, misses his mom every single day. The sadness and the trauma that this has caused him is something no child should ever have to carry. Jamar struggled with the loss deeply, and it breaks my heart to see him growing up without his mother's love, guidance, and presence in his life. Our house was one full of laughter and energy, and it's now quiet. Tanya was the life of our home, with her smile, her joy, and the way she played all around with Jamar. Now the light is gone, and our home feels dark and empty without her. The pain is not mine alone. Tanya's stepfather, her son, brothers, grandparents, aunt, uncle, and cousins are all suffering as well. Many of us are battling depression, trauma, PTSD because of this tragedy. Our entire family has shattered, and the weight of the grief follows us every single day. The stress of losing Tanya and Josiah has also affected my health. I have heart condition. It has grown worse because of the grief and the stress I carry every day. This tragedy has taken serious toll on my body, broken. It has also broken my spirit. And it's not just me. It has also taken physical and emotional impact on our son, Jamar. I grapples daily with the loss of Tanya, his mother. I wonder how the future will be. And I wonder how Jamar will grow up without his Tanya. And how our family will find a way to live with this emptiness. Nothing feels certain anymore without her. The future we imagine is gone. And we're left trying to survive in a world that feels hopeless and broken. Tanya has already missed so much, and she will continue to miss every important milestone in Jamar's life. She will not be there for his accomplishments, his graduation, even his wedding day one day. She will never get a chance to hold her grandchild. These are moments that should have been hers as a mother, but they have been stolen from her and from all of us. Nothing can bring Tanya and Josiah back. The future we dreamed of, the milestones, the celebrations, the simple everyday moments have been stolen from us. I will never see my daughter raise her children. I will never see my daughter raise her children. And I will never get to hold my grandson. Our loss is permanent. And it has changed me and my family forever. The terrible pain and devastating impact this crime has had on me and my family, but most importantly, my grandson, who will now become into a life without a mother, is simply unfathomable. We will live with this grief for the rest of our life. What happened to my Tanya and Josiah will affect me forever. And I don't know how to live without her. She was my baby girl, my only girl. I will carry this pain every single day of my life. Nothing will ever take away this grief, the anger and the emptiness that their loss has left me behind. In the end, two innocent lives have been stolen from us, and we will never fully recover from this loss.
Ma'am, I want to show you what has been marked as court exhibit, photo composites, court exhibit number 1. Are these 30 photographs of Tanya that show her throughout her life? Okay. And do all these photos show Tanya at various stages of her life?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to publish?
Any objection to introducing the item and publishing it?
No, Your Honor.
Those items will be introduced into evidence and published. And you may step down. And the state's next witness.
I guess other people say the Florida called Tracy Hamill.
Tracy Hamill.
Let's see. Hold on.
Tracy Hamill.
Does she need to be sworn?
I don't know who the witness is or what your plan is, so it depends on.
Victim advocate who's going to read several victim impacts.
Okay, so she would not be sworn at this time. She's going to simply be reading a statement of another person. Okay.
Yes, sir.
it's not sworn testimony. She can simply read the document.
Ma'am, can you state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Tracy Hamel, Hamel.
Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a victim's advocate at the state attorney's office.
Okay, and as part of your duties as a victim's advocate, do you sometimes read prepared statements for those people who may not be in an emotional position to do so for themselves?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Court's Exhibit Number 2 for identification purposes. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is that?
This is Lenora Bedola's victim impact statement.
Can you go ahead and please read that?
Yes. My name is Lenora Bedola. I am Tanya's stepsister, as well as her best friend. I am here to speak on behalf of myself, my family, and the loss we have all suffered since Tanya and her unborn child Josiah were taken from us. Tanya was a loving mother, a hard-working woman, and a bright light in all of our lives. She had an incredible sense of humor that made everyone around her feel at ease. She was so smart and resourceful, always looking out for others and putting them first. But above all, Tanya was my safe person. She was the one that I could confide in, the one who always knew how to make me laugh or comfort me when I was struggling. I told her everything, my joys, my worries, my fears. Not being able to speak to her anymore has left a hole in my heart that nothing can fill. Since her death, I have cried every day. I wake up with the ache of her absence, knowing that my kids will never get to spend time with their Tiny. We won't be able to go to the beach together again or share simple moments like going to the mall or eating out with our kids. I moved to Florida for the summer just to be closer to her, hoping we could make more memories. And now I'm left with the empty space she once filled so effortlessly. The pain of not having her here is unbearable. I miss the small things, the smell of her hair when she got out of the shower, her smile, and the warmth of her hugs. These are things I will never get to experience again, and it hurts more than I can express. Life is not the same without Tanya. It will never be the same. There is a constant weight of sadness in everything I do, and I feel lost without her by my side. She was a part of my everyday, and now that part is gone. This profound loss that has shattered our family. Tanya was not just a victim of this crime. She was a daughter, a mother, a sister, and a friend. Josiah, her unborn child, was a life we all looked forward to, and his loss is felt deeply. We are left behind with an emptiness that words can barely capture. I will carry the pain of losing Tanya with me for the rest of my life, but I will also carry the love she gave. She was taken from us far too soon, and nothing will ever fill the void she has left.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Court Exhibit Number 3. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is the victim impact statement from Michael Reveron.
Okay. Can you go ahead and please read that when you're ready?
Yes. My name is Michael Reveron, and I am the proud older brother of Tanya Wise. Tanya wasn't just my sister. She was one of the strongest, most caring people I've ever known. She had this rare gift of being the life of the party wherever she went. Her laugh was loud, her smile was real, and she had a way of lighting up a room just by walking in. But beyond all the fun and energy, she had a heart full of love for her family and friends. Even though I was the older brother, Tanya always acted like she was my second mom. She looked out for me in ways I didn't always notice at the time, but I feel every day now. She would show up at my job just to take me out to lunch. She would also come to my job just to spend time with me, sometimes staying for hours just to talk, laugh, and be together. She always offered support, encouragement, or simply a listening ear whenever I needed it. Some of my favorite memories are the simple ones. We used to go to the movies together, just me, Tanya, and my nephew Jamar. We'd laugh, share snacks, and just enjoy being around each other. That was our thing. It was peaceful. It was fun. Birthdays and holidays still feel empty even after all these years without her laughter and presence. What used to be moments of joy are now constant reminders of what we have lost. Losing Tanya has left me broken in ways that are hard to write. I feel anger, sadness, and emptiness all at once. I feel like a part of me is missing. I struggle to focus and to move forward because so much of my strength and happiness came from her. Even as her older brother, she made me feel grounded. Some days I find myself grabbing my phone, trying to call her to tell her about my day. On top of the grief, I now live with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and nightmares because of what happened to her. I relive the pain over and over in my mind, and some nights I wake up shaking and crying. It has taken a serious toll on my mental health, my sleep, and my ability to function day to day. The future has been forever changed without Tanya. I think about all the milestones she will never get to experience. She will never see her nieces and nephews grow up or witness all the things they will accomplish. She will never meet her grandchild. She will miss the wedding we always joked I'd never have. I will never get to meet my unborn nephew or see all the great things he would have done. For me, I will never again have my sister, best friend to share memories with or to laugh with. Her absence leaves a void in my life that can never be filled. I hope that by sharing who Tanya was and how she lived, that the court understands the depth of loss. We're not just grieving her absence, we're grieving everything she would have continued to be: a loving mother, a joyful sister, a loyal friend, and a light in our lives. This isn't just about the life that was taken from Tanya and my unborn nephew, but the lasting impact their loss has had on me, my family, and all who love them. No words can fully capture the pain, emptiness, and grief we carry every day. Depth of our loss knows no bottom or end.
And I'm going to show you what has been marked as Court Exhibit 4. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
It's the victim impact statement for Reyes Bedola.
Okay, and when you're ready, can you go ahead and read that?
My name is Reyes Bedola. I am the stepfather of Tanya Wise and the grandfather of her unborn son, Josiah Thomas Wise. I would like to talk about how much I miss them and how hard it is to live without them. Tanya was amazing, funny, helpful. She was a bundle of joy. She was a loving, caring, and devoted mother who loved to play around with her son. Everywhere she went, she would smile. She was always there giving a helping hand to the family. She touched everyone with her kindness. We had built a strong bond. I knew her dream and what she wanted to do with her life, and I was going to be there every step of the way to support her. Her life was about her children and raising them. Losing her in this way has left me with a pain that never ends. I looked forward to welcoming my grandson Josiah into the world, but am now heartbroken as I have to come to terms with the fact that this will never happen. All I am left with are dreams of what he would be like today. Every time I see somebody else with a child, I imagine my beloved grandson and wonder about the things that could have been. I would have loved to watch Josiah take his first steps, play sports, and grow into a man. I will never hold him, play with him, or even spoil him, and he will never call Grandpa. I am so hurt my life will never be the same. I am raising Tanya's son Jamar, and I see how he suffers for his mother. This emptiness that my family and I can never be filled. I ask myself, why are Tanya and Josiah? We struggle to move forward every day. I remember going to the beach with my wife, Tanya, and her son Jamar. It was all about spending quality time together, and we all planned our future. Our conversation were all about family. I don't have this anymore. I have never been able to go back to a fun day at the beach as our family feels like we are not complete and are broken, and we are trying to piece it together to continue our next day. Our family is struggling to move forward while trying to honor their memory. Nothing will ever be the same.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the people of the state of Florida call Johnny Reveron.
So if you raise your right hand and face the clerk.
Do you swear affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Witness stand.
Morning.
Good morning.
Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name, please?
Yes, it's Johnny Reveron. Last name is Reveron.
Okay, and did you know Tanya Wise?
Yes, she was my sister.
Your sister, okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as court exhibit number 5. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that the statement you prepared?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and read that to the jury.
Yes, sir. My name is Johnny Reveron. I am Tanya's older brother. I stand before you today to speak not only for myself, but for my family and for Tanya's unborn child, who was never given a chance at life. The loss of my sister has devastated every part of my life. Tanya was not just my sister. She was my friend, a piece of my heart. She was carrying her child with such joy and anticipation. That child should be here with us, loved and cherished. But this life was taken before it even began. Just a month before this tragedy, Tanya and I spoke after she started working at the same company where I work. We talked about her excitement for this new chapter and how much she was looking forward to building her future. I never imagined that it would be one of the last meaningful conversations I'd have with her. Since her murder, my world has been turned upside down. I wake up every day with a heavy heart, knowing I may never hear Tanya's laugh, see her smile, or share the simple everyday moments that brothers and sisters are supposed to have. Holidays, birthdays, and family moments are now filled with pain because Tanya and her baby should be here with us. This tragedy has not only caused unbearable emotional pain, it's left lasting scars on my family's sense of security, stability, and peace. I struggle with grief, anger, and unanswered questions. I have lost sleep. I have lost hope, and I will carry this pain for the rest of my life. Tanya and her baby deserve to live. They deserved a future full of love and opportunity. Instead, what remains is a permanent void in my heart and in my family's life. Thank you for allowing me to share on how much I miss my sister.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. People in the state of Florida call Yaritza Irizarry.
Just raise your right hand and face the clerk.
Do you swear affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And for the witness.
Morning.
Good morning.
Can you state your name for the record and spell both your first and your last name, please?
Jaritza Irizarry, Jaritza. Last name Irizarry.
Okay. And did you know Tanya Wise?
Yes, she was my niece.
And I'm going to show you what has been marked as court exhibit number 6. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is that the statement that you prepared to deliver to the jury?
Yes.
Okay. When you're ready, go ahead and read that to the jury, please.
Your Honor, my name is Jaritza Irizarry, and I am the aunt of Tanya. To me, she was more than a niece. She was like a daughter. Tanya was beautiful, loving young woman whose life was taken from us in the most painful and senseless way. Her death has left us a permanent hole in my heart and in the heart of my family. Tanya was a devoted mother. She loved her son Jamar with everything she had, and she was overjoyed to be pregnant with another baby Josiah. Not long before her murder, I hosted her baby shower. I could still picture that day, glowing with happiness, surrounded by her family, smiling as she opened gifts for her new baby. She was so full of hope for the future, so excited about raising her children, and so ready to begin a new chapter of her life. But that joy and that future were stolen from her, from Jamar, from all of us. Jamar has to grow up without his mother, and Josiah never even had the chance to take his first breath. Her loss has shattered our entire family. My sister, her mother, is broken. No parent should ever have to bury their child, and watching her live with this pain has been unbearable. Every holiday, every birthday, every family gathering feels incomplete without Tanya. There is always an empty chair and a silence where her laughter should be. For me, it's the everyday moments I miss the most. We shared so many simple joys together, taking the kids to the beach, going shopping, eating out, or just cooking her favorite meal. I miss sitting with her, talking and joking around. She had this way of making everything seem better. No matter what I was going through, at times I wanted to pick up the phone and call her to tell her everything, like what I always did. But now there is only a silence. Those ordinary times that once brought me comfort and happiness now feel heavy and empty without her. The pain of losing Tanya has affected me deeply, both emotionally and physically. I cry without warning. I struggle to focus to find joy in the things I once loved. I suffer from sleepless nights, nightmares, and anxiety. The grief sits in my body like a weight, leaving me exhausted and drained. A part of me died with her, and I will never be the same. The crime didn't just take one life, it took two. Tanya's life was taken, and so was baby Josiah's before he ever had the chance to live. Jamar lost his mother, my sister lost her daughter, and I lost someone who was like my own child. Our family has been torn apart, and the pain we carry will never go away. Respectfully, Jaritza Irizarry.
Thank you, ma'am. And people say Florida called Jamar Bedolla once.
So if you can raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Stand over that way to witness.
Morning.
Morning.
Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name, please?
Jamar Bedolla, Bedolla.
Okay. And what is your relationship to Tanya Wise?
She was my mother.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as court's exhibit number 7 for identification purposes. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is that the statement that you prepared?
Yes.
Okay, when you're ready, can you go ahead and please read that to the jury?
Hello, I'm Jamar, and I'm the son of Tanya Esther Wise, who was taken from us. My mother was the closest person to me, and she was like my best friend. Also, she was always there for me. I'm here to share a few to honor my mother and talk about how I was affected. Ever since that day, there's been many different. Ever since that day, there have been many different ways that I've been affected emotionally. For example, I've developed depression, sleeping problems, and anxiety. Losing her made me grow faster than I should have. I used to hide my pain and try dealing with it on my own, and to protect myself from getting hurt more than I was. And I didn't like talking about what was wrong with me. Every day, I think about how she won't be able to see what I've accomplished and what I will accomplish in the future. She's already missed some of my milestones that I've reached, and I think that she would have been proud of them. I wish that she could have met my first girlfriend and watched me perform in my musical performances for my school. I'm in marching band. My mom was also musically inclined. She played the clarinet, and I hope that she would be proud of who I've become. On that day, I've lost more than a mother. I also lost the chance to have my mother watch me grow, and I hope that she's proud of me for coming here and talking about how this has affected me. I choose to honor my mother because she was one of the most, if not the most important people who has been in my life.
Thank you. That will conclude the evidence from the state.
Members of the jury, that concludes the state's part of the evidentiary portion of this penalty phase. As I mentioned, we're going to break at this time till 1 o'clock. Please remember the rules regarding communication. Don't discuss this case with anyone, including your fellow jurors. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock. And please leave your notes on your chairs.
I have something. I'm in the state for the photo composite. There's one, but I already had a one. Can this be 1A? Can I make this 1A?
What was one?
One with her Ms. Bedola's statement, impact statement.
Yes. Going to make the 1A. Now, some of these items I think came into evidence, but some were just court's exhibits. Is that right?
Yeah, all of them.
They're all court's exhibits. So, but I mentioned before, as far as the other one coming into evidence, just strike that. They'll all be court's exhibits. Okay. All right. And anything else for us to take before we break and come back at 1 o'clock?
Not for the defense, Judge.
Okay.
Nothing from the
State.
state.
All right. We'll see you at 1 o'clock, and we have the Zoom working. I emailed you the message about the interpreter being here tomorrow. She's going to be here, Miss
Thank you.
Olivier, so that should not be a problem at 8:30. And enjoy your lunch. We'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. That was a little, I wasn't expecting the sound. I didn't even think he was that old enough, but he is. That's a lot of emotion going through the courtroom. Wow.
Any other
Oh, that's our next trial that we're going to be covering. Right there. My voice seems like it's hoarse. Wow. Well, that was interesting. So I think that they probably going to give him a DP. I'll put a poll up there. I'm pretty sure. You'll get the DP. Thank you so much, SD. Yeah, girl, get that chair fund going. I'm telling you, Prime Day is going to be the beginning of October. I'm gonna be. I think we got the chair. I got to show it how to show it to you guys. Therapist has sent it to me. Yeah, he's probably gonna get the DP. Hey, Karen. Oh, look, you came in green. Yeah, very, very sad. Yeah, I know, right, Film? Yeah. Yeah, and I see he can get it 2 times, or he can get it one or the other, or vice versa. So yeah, I am sure that he will get it. So let me ask you guys. So we know we got our sentencing for our other trial that's happening also today. Do y'all want me to start playing that? I won't play our new trial. We'll do our new trial this afternoon. Yeah, I don't know what they could say. Yeah, pretty brown. I have no clue what they could say. So I was thinking while we are like in between these trials, we could, since everybody is just really like sentencing, like this one should be over tomorrow. The other one should be over tomorrow, and we will start our plotting parent unaliving trial this afternoon, because I don't want to they haven't opened the statements, and I don't want to miss those. Yeah, they didn't do it yesterday. I was looking for it. I had the room set up and everything, and I was like, okay, well, we're not going to do anything. All right, great, perfect. It would have worked out perfect yesterday, but of course they wouldn't let me live. Okay. So I am going to get the Tony Earl's sentencing portion up, and we'll just play that right here and get through what we can. And of course, when I put it on the channel, I'll break it up a little differently so y'all can find it easily. Oh, it went good. It was really nice to see them do their, they have to, I guess, light the candles for the 4 pillars and blow their candle out and get their certificates. And yeah, so she's officially in the National Honor Society. I was like, you're way smarter than your mama. Because I don't know how you do it, girl. But she definitely a bookworm. It's a good thing. Yeah, so yeah, it was awesome. She enjoyed herself, and it was a quick ceremony. It was a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to be. I think it was like maybe 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. I know. I hope a scholarship coming too. Whew. Yeah, we got like, I think, well, we'll probably start looking because she's a junior. I guess they'll let me know when we should start looking. I don't know. Yeah, she want to go to the a school that costs way too much for anybody. I don't even know. I think the school was like, thank you, Karen. Yeah, the school that she want to go to, I think it's the School of Juilliard or something in New York. And then there was another school, I believe, in like Boston. And I was like, okay, well, like, you really gonna make me have to do something strange for some change to make this all work. Like, I don't know. Yes, she wants to be a performer. So, yeah, it sounds great. It can sound as great as it want to be, SD, but we better be figuring out a way to get you in there, boo. Ooh, well, I was looking at that cost of that tea, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm in Arizona. Yeah, I don't think none of these schools cheap, Baca. I don't care what school you go to. Quiet as kept. It's just, I just know from my college experience that it's almost better to go locally for like the first year or two, I think, and get those little, your English, those little classes out the way. And then go to the bigger college, right? But I don't know. I don't know what she gonna do. I don't know what we gonna do. But yeah. Yeah, I think that she should do local first. Did you know this case, Karen, that we covering? This Tony Earls is right there in your state, right down the street from your house. It's just your neighbor. Yeah, I think she should go to local first, only because when you get into those schools, you start changing your major, your minor, and all types of stuff. And if you mess around and taking all these classes, paying all this money for them, for any classes that she couldn't get in her dual enrollment, because they do have that. You say, not your neighbor, okay? Yeah, so I think that if she, yeah, but we'll probably on the second half of the school year be really like getting into more. You say it's big, okay? All right, well you stay out of this neighborhood. I think they already took the Chase ATM machine down, so you make sure You stay out of this neighborhood because it's no good. No good at all. Okay, so this is how I came on. This is the first witness that's on the stand in regards to his sentencing phase. I am going to go ahead and take us into the courtroom so we can cover as much as we can of this one. And then we'll kind of like flip-flop between this one and the other one. And I'll just post it up under where it needs to be posted. I try to be. Yeah, film. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I have to get her maybe one day she have to come to a take it to trial after dark. She in school when we be streaming. Okay, let me go ahead and get us into court. Let's see who's on the stand right now. It's kind of weird how they started this one off, but I don't know.
A little nervous. Okay. We're gonna talk just a little slower. Ms. Roxanne is taking notes of everything, and we'll just try and make sure we don't interrupt each other. So you told us you're a store owner here in Houston.
Correct.
How long have you been a store owner?
Since 2018.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Were you born and raised in the United States?
I am born and raised in the United States. I came 2013 and I'm U.S. citizen.
Okay. Where were you originally born?
Palestine.
Okay. And when you came here in 2013, who did you come here with?
With a family.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Correct.
How many?
Three boys.
The store that you were talking to us about at MLK, are you a part owner, a full owner?
A part owner, 50% owner.
Okay. Is that store located in which county?
Harris County.
In Texas?
Correct.
What part of town is it in?
Southeast with South Park neighborhood.
Okay. And how long have you been a part owner there?
Since we opened the business, 2018.
I want to take your attention to specifically the spring of 2023. Was Mr. Earls a regular customer there?
Correct.
Was he an employee there?
No.
Did you also meet his stepson?
Correct.
So Dayron Grismore Hines, this is stepson. What did you know him as?
He's a good customer. He comes like 4 or 5 times a day. He worked down the road, which is the same parking lot.
Slow down.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. So you're talking about the stepson.
Correct.
So how often would he come to the store?
At least 4 or 5 times a day.
Okay. How would you describe him as a customer?
He's a good kid. He's a good guy, respectful.
Did you interact with him pretty regularly?
I mean, like, yes.
Were you aware of where Mr. Grismore Hines was working at that time?
I'm sorry.
Dayron, where was he working?
But who's
The knowledge.
knowledge? Okay. As a barber,
Okay. Where is that barber shop located?
same parking lot, all the way to the end of the building, like, where the strip center, where, like, my store at.
So he was cutting hair there?
Correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned Tony was a regular at the store as well, right?
Correct.
All right. When you say Tony, can you please point at that person and identify them by an
Yes.
article of clothing?
Yes, he's right here with a white shirt.
Do me a favor. I know you're nervous. I can feel that your energy. You're gonna have to slow down for me. Why don't you drink some water?
Yes. Yeah, this first time I'm like, I'm
I
sorry.
understand. I totally understand. I've done this for a long time. And maybe this day could help me out by slowing
Yes.
down a little bit too. You make it easy.
Okay, so make the record reflect that he did identify the defendant.
The record looks like that. The witnesses identify the defendant, Mr. Tony Rose.
May I approach the witness, Judge?
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 183, 184, number 185. Take a look at them.
Yes,
Do you recognize them?
yes, that's my store.
Is it a fair and accurate photo of your store?
Correct.
The state would tender to opposing counsel State's Exhibits 183, 184, and 185, and then offer them evidence.
No objection, Your Honor, to states 183, 184, and 185.
With no objection made, states 183, 184, and 185 will be admitted into evidence in the public circuit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Mr. Allah, what do we see here in States 183?
Right in front of the store, front door.
That's your store?
Correct.
And let me ask you this. You mentioned you knew Mr. Grismore Hines. What was the name that you knew him by, the stepson?
Knowledge.
Knowledge?
Correct.
Okay. And you would interact with him, you said, on almost a day-to-day basis?
Correct.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor? I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 187. Do you recognize that?
Yes, that's the knowledge.
Okay. And that's the person. So when you knew Mr. Earls, you also knew his stepson.
Correct.
Did you know him as his stepson?
Correct.
Okay. So they both interacted with you enough for you to know that this was his stepson.
Correct.
It's a fair and accurate depiction, fair and accurate photo?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state law for states 187 intended to oppose counsel for objection.
May I take you on Bodiah briefly? Sir, 187, you look at it. Do you know where this picture was taken?
I don't know.
So you don't, do you know if it accurately, other than it looks like him, does it accurately reflect the background that you were looking at?
I don't know when it taken.
Fair enough. May I have a moment, Your Honor? May we approach you on? Good morning. Good morning.
So with the agreement, states exhibit number 187 will be admitted into evidence with the agreement.
Is this the person that you knew as Knowledge?
Correct.
This is the person you knew as the defendant's stepson?
Yes.
First, I want to talk to you about the day that you were working on March 29th of 2023.
Yes.
You were at the store.
Correct.
Who else was there?
By myself. Then Tony, he was drinking coffee, doing some coffee, which is I remembered before his stepson walked into the store.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: was Mr. Earls an employee of your store?
No,
Did you ever interact with Mr. Earls or give him any money?
it was like here and there, like
So just so y'all aware, I just kind of heard what I needed to hear because I'm trying to figure out who is this guy up here, right? So the state is bringing in right now for Tony Earl's sentencing hearing. Currently on the stand is the store owner, and I believe he's going to testify to the dispute that Tony recently had with his stepson in front of his store. So just so you guys know, I'm almost sure this is who it is because he just mentioned the stepson and him being the store owner. But let's continue to listen.
they just picking the trash, like $10, $15, like once a week, twice a week, not more than this.
Okay. So once or twice a week, you would give him $10 to $15 to pick up trash.
Correct.
Where was that trash?
Outside the parking lot, and sometimes like he take the trash from the store to the dumpster.
Okay. Who was responsible for all of that trash that's outside?
I have like like employee responsible for that.
Say that again. And slow down.
I do have employee responsible for this.
Okay.
Mr. Cox, help me out with slow down.
Yes, sir. Was Mr. Earls, when he would come to the store, would he hang out outside regularly?
Yes.
On March 29th of 2023, you said he was there drinking coffee?
Correct.
And then did his stepson come into the store?
Correct.
When he walked inside, where did his stepson go?
To the cash register.
Who was working at the cash register?
Me.
After his stepson gets to the cash register, what happens?
Like I started dealing with him as a customer. Then there wasn't that much talking because I have resistant brew glass. So I just like a fight happened. So I don't know what exactly happened between them. It just happened.
So you saw them in an assault?
Correct.
Were they both punching each other or one person was punching the other?
Both.
Did you separate it?
I tried.
Did an officer show up later that day?
Correct.
When the officer showed up later that day, without getting into what she said, did you begin looking at the surveillance video?
Before she came, no.
After she came?
After she came, yes.
Talk to us, your surveillance video. Is it a physical system?
It's like I have a DVR, yes, physical system. But when the officer, she came, I would do it through my phone.
Okay, so you're able to also access it on your phone?
Correct.
When the officer showed up, how did you show it to her?
Through my phone.
When you looked at the video, did it fairly and accurately show what you had seen while you were at the store that day?
Correct.
Was the time and the date accurate when you were at the store that day?
Correct.
Did she ask you to look at video from another day?
Correct.
Was that video from the night before?
Correct.
When you were looking for that video. Judge, I'm going to object to the leading. I know that it will help him maybe better understand, but could he go to some questions other than?
Okay, I appreciate your help, but let's do it though.
I'll try to be very clear, Judge.
You're fine, so just double.
When she asked you to look at the video from the night before, were you able to locate any video?
Yes.
What information, such as date and time, did she provide you?
She provided me, I can't remember the exact time on, what exact time. She mentioned but when she asked me, she mentioned about the exact time. She gave me exact time to look, look for the video.
Okay. Do you remember whether that time, yes or no, was around 7:55, 8 o'clock?
Yes, after I looked, around that time.
And she gave you that information?
Correct.
And you were able to locate the video?
Correct.
Were you able to show her that video?
Yes.
Were you able to take it off the DVR system and give it to her that day?
No, I didn't like give her from the DVR. She came recorded through my phone. The reason is I was by myself at the store, so I didn't get a chance to go to the DVR or the video. So she just recorded from my phone.
But you were able to tell based on the first day that the video from the second day was fair and accurate about time
Correct.
and date.
Correct.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may, sir.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 186. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
How?
My emission right here.
State's Exhibit number 186 is a video from your store.
Correct.
Is it a fair and accurate copy of what you showed the detective when she asked you?
Correct.
And it's a video that's playing on your phone.
Correct.
At this time, Your Honor, I would tender State's Exhibit number 186 to opposing counsel and offer it into evidence.
I have no objection.
With no objection made, state 186 will be admitted into evidence. You may publish, sir.
Now, Knowledge, who you knew was Knowledge, the defendant's stepson,
Yes.
when he came to the store, did you ever see him there with a gun?
No.
How did he, when he interacted with you, how would you describe him?
He's very respectful guy. Always like calling sir, man. I never see him disrespect nobody.
At the time that this is all occurring between the defendant, Mr. Earls, and his stepson, were you aware of what the dispute was about? Did you know why they were arguing?
No.
Okay, so whose phone are we looking at right now?
My phone.
Okay. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. But before I do, this is on March 28th, 2023.
Correct.
Was this before or after the fight or assault that you saw?
Before.
Okay. So this is the night before?
Correct.
Who's in the white over here?
Stepson, Knowledge.
Who is in the red over here?
Mr. Tony.
What do we see in his hand right here on the left?
A gun.
On any given regular night, is that about how many people would be outside hanging out?
Yes. I mean, like, sometimes, like, some guys that be hanging out.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 184. We see signs here. Do you see those signs?
Yes.
Are those signs you guys put up?
Correct.
Why?
That TABC required that.
And it says no firearms on the premises?
Correct.
What do you sell that makes TABC put that sign?
Alcohol.
State's Exhibit number 185. In the very top here, is that the camera angle we just watched?
Correct.
And this is all what we watched in that video happening right outside your store?
Yes.
Now, I want to show you the video on the day that you were there, the very next day, March 29th.
Yes.
Who do we see here wearing red?
Knowledge. Stepson.
You earlier told us when he walks in the store, what does he do?
He just like want to purchase something.
Who do we see here in the yellow and the blue?
Mr. Tony.
And this is the day after he's outside with the gun.
Correct.
You are actually behind the glass right now.
Correct.
In the bottom left here, who do we see wearing a red hat?
Knowledge.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
The red hat.
Yes. The red hat.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. Behind the counter?
Correct.
Who do we see wearing the red hat and gray right there?
Me.
What are you doing?
Try to break in.
To break it up?
Correct.
I know I'm up here fighting the air because he was putting belt to ass. He said, "What you say? Boo, 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 boo." Like, who does that in the store? Like, you can't even wait till you get outside the store. Like, who does that? Yeah, they're gonna stay in the store and everything, Pretty Brown. Like, I don't know what they doing down there in Houston, Texas. Hey, Vanessa. Girl, this is Tony fighting the stepson. I don't know if you was here when we read the complaint where after this incident that happened with the little girl, Arlene, he attacked his stepson in the store. And so now in his sentencing, they actually are presenting this information. I think it's supposed to prove that he's violent and that he be taking that weapon everywhere, even when it's not supposed to go into the store, because they showed that he brought it into the store. Good morning, Drunky. Thank you. Thank you so much. Drunky says, good morning, everyone. Good to see Sweet Pea and all. That's going to the cheer fund. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, as the okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing. Just stay in the store. They ain't messed up nothing in the store, don't look like. He got his merch.
Who do we see that's sitting over here on the ice just now?
Mr. Tony.
I'm gonna publish it one more time. This happens pretty quick.
Oh, he just called him first. Ooh, wait a minute. So wait a minute. In all fairness, it looked like the son was about to punch him first, and he just got his lick off first. Unless I'm missing that. Y'all tell me. Junkie said, "Who? Wait, what? When? Where? Why? What is going on?" So, Drunky, the person that we looking at in the yellow, this is going to be Tony. The guy that's in the red, let me go back a little bit. I don't know if they're gonna show it again, but I want to make sure she see it. Okay, so right here in the red, Drunky, and everybody, well, for all of us, right? This is the son. This is Tony. This is the store guy behind the thing that's gonna come from behind the counter and try to break it up. But when Tony comes this way, you know, they saying some stuff to each other, right? Tony goes back and he walks this way, and the stepson, you know, he must have said something which caused him to come back this way. And it looks like at the confrontation, it looked like the son was trying to get the first lick, but he didn't. It looked like, you know, Tony was a little quicker on his toes. You know, the son needed to bob and weave, and he didn't bob and weave and got caught. But I'll play it and we can watch it. But that just gives y'all kind of an idea. I don't know how old the stepson is. I'm assuming that he is an adult because they did put his name in the complaint that we read the other day.
This is the day after he's outside with the gun.
Correct.
You are actually behind the glass right now.
Correct.
In the bottom left here, who do we see wearing a red hat?
Knowledge.
Stepson.
No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's the red hat.
Yes. The red hat.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. Behind the counter.
Oh,
Correct.
for you have to tell me what you want it for. See?
Who do we see wearing the red hat and gray right there?
Me.
What are you doing?
Try to break in.
To break it up?
Correct.
Who do we see that's sitting over here on the ice chest now?
Mr. Tony.
I'm gonna publish it one more time, because it happens pretty quick. So, Mr. Durali, let me ask you this. When a fight like this happens at the store, how come you don't just kick people out?
I tried.
Describe to us when you're interacting with customers and the community, what is it like at that store?
Is we like in a bad, like rough, like kind of rough neighborhood, so sometimes I have to be like balance it out to be I can't be like too much rough for the neighborhood, because end of the day, for my safety, my employee, so I have to like work it something out, just to be nice with them, and sometimes like
So is that why, did you call the cops after this?
No, I didn't call the cops. The reason is because I know their family. So I thought, like it's just some family issue and it's just gonna go away.
But when the cops came to your store, you gave them both these videos.
Correct.
When the cops came to your store, what did you give them?
I gave them the videos.
Pass the witness.
Good morning. I have a few questions about all of this. So let me understand this. First of all, Knowledge comes in the store like 4 or 5 times a week, right?
More,
More?
correct,
And he works right in the same center, right?
correct.
So, I mean, we see a picture of your store, but how far from the door is the barber shop?
Probably like 100 feet.
Okay. Tony comes in the store also, correct?
Correct,
Okay, and I think you testified, although he doesn't work there, you would pay him to pick up trash outside.
Correct.
Correct? So technically, he was getting money to help you do stuff at the store. right?
correct,
And in addition to picking up trash, it's true that he also would restock beer for you and other items, correct?
correct,
Okay, so let's see, he'd restock ice, right? Ice and beer, and he'd pick up trash and he got paid for it, right?
correct,
Okay, so clearly he could believe that he did work at the store, right? Not as a full-time employee, but he did work for money in the store. I mean, that's not an unreasonable assumption on his part, is it?
The reason, like, like I gave him the work because I know he was out of work. So, I hit him out. It's not the,
Hold on, I'm sorry, I want to object to the non-responsive, Your Honor.
No, Mr. State, man.
I just want to ask
So,
you.
man, he's gonna ask you a very specific question.
Yes.
And it sounds like he's just trying to get yeses and nos.
Yes.
You don't have to explain yourself.
Okay.
If it's a yes and no question. Now, if the state wants to come back and ask you another question where it's allowed to explain yourself, go ahead. Just listen very carefully to this question. They're very specific. Go ahead, sir.
No.
And back in 23, Tony was doing that, over a period of time, right? You were helping him out financially, right?
Yes,
Okay, fair enough. So it'd be safe to say that if the barbershop's right there, Tony's at the store doing different chores, and knowledge is coming at least 4 or 5 times a week, that their paths would cross a lot, wouldn't they?
correct.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be at the store at the same time.
Yes,
In front of you, you'd see them interact, right?
yes,
Okay. And we have video from, let's see, I guess the day of the 29th of March, 2023 is one of the videos, right?
correct,
That's the one where they're fighting. And then we have a video the night before that the state, I think they played that, published it. So that would be the night of the 28th, correct?
correct.
Okay. You're not here testifying that these two would argue all the time and fight with one another, are you?
No,
Okay. Matter of fact, for the most part, they got along. It's a stepfather and stepson, right?
correct.
And I think when you and I talked about this video, I asked you who threw the first punch, right?
Yes,
And you told me it happened so quick, it was hard for you to tell.
correct.
And your terminology was it was mutual contact, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now, you were at the store when this took place, right?
correct,
You were behind the counter, right?
correct,
You'd agree with me, some words were exchanged leading up to the fight, right?
correct.
But you're testifying today, you couldn't hear anything that was being said?
No,
They weren't yelling at one another or getting in one another's face before it occurred, right?
no,
You never had a problem with Tony ever fighting with any of your other customers, right?
no,
Because if you did, obviously you wouldn't pay him to do work around the store, right?
yes,
That's fair enough. Couple things, that sign, you put that up, right?
yes,
Okay, and it says no guns on the premise, right?
correct.
But you routinely let Tony, you said Tony would routinely have a gun on the premise, right?
Correct.
Okay. Clearly, you didn't call the police about that, did you?
No,
Because really, you, in addition to just selling, you don't sell alcohol, you sell beer, right?
correct.
Do you sell wine?
Yes,
So beer and wine. Okay, you sell gasoline or no?
yes,
Okay. So you have gas pumps, right?
correct,
You have food items, right?
correct.
And I guess what I'm getting at is you have all kinds of stuff. And so beer is not the only thing you sell, right?
Correct.
Tony doesn't work the register, does he?
No,
He has no idea what percentage of your total sales equates to the beer and wine? Right?
No.
You know who you have another customer named Ali? You know who Ali is, right? Do you know who a guy named Ali is?
Probably like sometimes they call my brother Ali, sometimes they call me Ali, so I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Give me a moment, please. Before I ask you any questions about Ali, let me go. So they showed you a video. They showed you a video involving Tony, I guess, pulling out a gun, right?
Correct.
The night before.
Yes.
And you were there, right?
No, I wasn't there.
You weren't there. So you reviewed all the video?
Correct.
Okay. You never saw Tony chase him into the store with the gun, right?
No.
You never saw Tony shoot at Knowledge with the gun, right?
No.
Basically, from the video, and I guess the video's not real clear, is it?
It's clear.
Well, you can't tell from the video what Knowledge is attempting to pull out of his pocket, can you?
I mean, I see nothing.
You say nothing. Okay, that's fair enough. You weren't there, right?
Correct.
You don't know what words led up to any of this stuff you're telling us. You just broke up the fight that day.
Correct.
That's all you did.
Correct.
Okay? And you also testified you've never seen Knowledge with a gun, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess when I asked you about a guy named Ali, there was a customer named Ali, you had to return his gun to him, right? One time? You know about that, right?
No.
You don't know, you never returned Ali's gun to him?
No.
May we have a moment around that? Sure. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused, and I'm gonna clean this up. You know who E is, right? He's another customer, right?
Who?
E. You had to return a gun to E, right?
No.
Never.
No.
Okay, fair enough. So if you're a guy who's present at this store often, you got one guy, Tony, who's there often, right?
Yes.
And you got a stepson who's there at the same time often, right?
Yes.
You've never experienced any problems between them until 3/28, 3/29 of March. Is it your testimony that you had no idea what the beef was between these two?
No.
Okay. Is it safe to say you'd like to stay out of a family matter?
Yes.
Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I just want to be ignorant about the facts. Just don't fight my
Judge
story
Bruno,
anymore.
Jack, I mean, he's testifying the narrative at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I can rephrase it. So, as a business owner, okay, tell me a little about this neighborhood. I mean, what's it like?
I mean, it's like other neighborhoods. Is some good about it, some bad about it. So it's
Let's
kind of like
talk
a
about
rough.
the bad. Okay,
Yes.
that's fair enough. You recognize there's some bad things that happen in the neighborhood?
Correct.
Okay, I mean, can I see this? Well, I'm looking at these exhibits and I have to look at it, and so I always ask questions like this. Let's see, you got here, oh, the video's here. I'm just gonna approach you, okay. obviously you recognize that there's a lot of crime in that particular neighborhood, right?
Correct.
And that's why you have bars on your windows,
Correct.
bars on your doors,
Correct.
cameras, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're not telling the jury that Tony Earls is the only person that you know of around there that comes in and out of your store that would carry a gun?
Correct.
Okay. So it's not uncommon, right? Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And you've never seen Tony threaten any of your customers with a gun, right?
No.
You've never seen Tony Earls ever shoot anyone with the gun yourself at your store, right?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I think I'm ready to pass this. If I can just have a moment. Oh, even that night with the video when you say Tony pulled a gun on him, you don't know the circumstances that led up to the very point. Do you know I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just saying, the night of the video, you don't know the circumstances between Tony and his stepson knowledge that led up to the incident right at the door where Tony pulled the gun out, do you?
No.
Okay. And he clearly didn't shoot the gun that night at your store.
Asked and answered.
The one before was.
How about- Did I ask the one about, he didn't shoot the gun that night?
You did not, you can answer that question.
Thank you, Judge. You can answer it. You didn't see, he didn't shoot the gun that night at your store, right?
No.
And from what you know, I think at that point, the steps, knowledge backs off, Tony puts the gun away, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Allah, you said you'd never seen Tony fight with anybody else. Did you ever see him argue with other customers?
Argue, yes, sometimes, yes.
Okay. In March of 2023,
Yes.
would you see him with a gun on, is this the only time you saw him with a gun?
No, I saw him before with a
Judge, I'm
gun.
gonna object. Talk about asked and answered. He said he's carried a gun at the store. It's asked and answered. We're just rehashing.
That's a different question.
How often would you see him with a gun in March of
Almost
2023?
every time like I see him.
I'm sorry?
Every time I see him, like he usually carry the gun.
Where would he carry the gun?
Oh, where? So
You're speaking over each other. Give us she's probably looking at you also. Just remember, if she's looking at you, that means you need to slow down and we're speaking over each other. I think you're almost finished.
like if he have a hoodie, gonna be sometimes hanging around the hoodie. When he having his worst, he gonna be showing off because he can like his pants a little bit down. So
I'm gonna
show
object to the narrative.
Question answer.
Yeah, where would he carry the gun in his waist?
like like on the side.
Would you see it?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Judge, I don't have anything else. Okay, it's not that.
Base witness being seized?
From the state? Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to keep him on recall, though, Judge.
Okay. On recall of your excuse, that means if you need to come back, you're gonna have to come back, okay? You can take call.
Thank you.
Call your next witness, please.
State calls Officer Kelly Heeman. Kelly Heeman. Judge, may I be excused for a moment? We can continue, but I want to speak to this.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman. Sorry. Thank you.
And let's tell the jury what's going on. How many more witnesses do you have?
Okay, so I just wanted to wait till that witness testimony was over with. I am going to our DP case is back from lunch, so I'm gonna go take us into there in order for us to complete with the defense's witnesses today for the Jose Soto Escalera case with our Pregnant Mistress trial. So we'll go back over there and we'll continue with Tony's state portion of his case when you get finished over here.
Jury is entering. All right, jury is present. We proceed with the defense mitigation evidence, and the defense may call its first witness.
Thank you, Judge. The defense calls Raul Banasco.
Mr. Banasco, if you raise your right hand, I'll administer the oath to you. Do you swear for or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, and you may inquire, Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Judge. Can you hear me, Raul?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay, tell us who you are, please.
My name is Raul S. Banasco. I am a prison and jail expert who has been consulted to interview and give my professional opinion based on my experience in corrections and my education and training on this case.
You're on Zoom. Are you not in Florida?
No, I am actually in Austin, Texas today.
Are you working in Texas now?
I'm actually off for the afternoon, but yes, I do have a full-time employment, but I'm off for the rest of the day, sir.
Tell the jury about your education, please.
I have an undergraduate degree from Iona University in New York. With a focus on psychology, minor in criminal justice. I have a master's in public administration from Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. I also have my certification as a public manager through the Florida Atlantic University Master's Program, and currently hold my certification as a jail manager through the American Jail Professional Commission, as well as I'm a certified corrections executive through the American Correctional Institution Organization on Professional Standards.
Are you working in jail or prison administration now in Austin, Texas?
Yes, I am.
How long have you worked in that field?
I've been in this field going on my 39th year. Started my social services, public safety career in New York, did 2 years with the juvenile system, and in 1988 joined the Florida Department of Corrections as a corrections officer at the prison now known as Central Florida Reception Center in Orlando, Florida. During my approximately 20 years with the Florida Department of Corrections, worked my professional development through classification. I served as a supervisor as well as a probation supervisor, an assistant warden at 3 major institutions, warden at a major Hernando Correctional Institution, also served in the capacity as the director of training for the entire Department of Corrections for 2 years, and then transitioned into jail operations. I served as the major for the Orange County Jail in Orlando, the deputy chief and interim chief for Osceola County Corrections, and then retired from the Florida system, did some nonprofit work for 2 years, and then have ran jails in different states from San Antonio, Fort Worth, St. Louis, as well as now Austin, Texas.
So you have worked in corrections here in Florida.
20 years, yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Florida DOC policies and procedures?
Yes, I am, sir.
You're not here out of the goodness of your heart, are you? We're paying you for this work, correct?
Yes, sir.
How much do you charge per hour, sir?
My fees are $200 an hour to interview, review records pertaining to any case, as well as $225 an hour for testifying and $110 for any travel time involved on any case.
How many hours have you put in on the Soto Escalera case?
16 and a half hours.
Is this your first time testifying in court, sir?
No, sir.
Where have you testified before?
I have testified in a variety of states, particularly in Florida. I've testified on various cases from Dade County, Duval County, Lake County, Marion County, Volusia County, Lee County, Gadsden County, also in the Panhandle, some of the Washington County, a variety of counties throughout the state of Florida, as well as done work in South Carolina, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee.
Do you testify always for the defense?
Yes, sir.
Has any state attorney's office, whether this one or anywhere else, ever used you as a consultant or consulted you on a case?
Not as a consultant, no, sir.
I'd like to talk to you, sir, for a moment or two about what life without parole would mean for an inmate so sentenced. Are you qualified to answer questions in that regard?
Yes, I am.
A person sentenced to Florida Department of Corrections to life without the possibility of parole, where are they housed? How are they housed in the system?
The way the process goes in the Florida prison system, like many, they are sentenced to a reception center in which they will go through 6 to 12 weeks, going through a battery of assessment processes for mental health, medical, classification, custody review, and then they're sent to a permanent facility. An individual who's sentenced to life will always be close custody. They will be sent to a facility that has that security level. Their requirement, once they are transferred to that permanent facility, they will go through an assessment process through classification, known as the institutional classification team process, in which they will be assigned a job. Every inmate who's serving life at a facility designed, they are required to do 60 hours a week. They are required to show up to work in addition to other obligations. They will be housed in a custody level, as we know, as H4 or HO5, which means their housing facility assignment will be either with another inmate or several inmates. And after dark, they are secured behind 2 or 3 additional secure doors to ensure that that custody level doesn't have access to the compound as a whole. In addition to working 60 hours a week, they're required to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're required to march down to the chow hall, eat their meal within 7 to 10 minutes, return back to their assignment. They go through a vigorous requirements. They get counted several times a day. They're told where to go, when to go. They have appointments to be at, and they're required to follow all the rules and regulations that the prison requires of them in that environment.
Is a prisoner serving life without parole, does such a prisoner shower every day?
Shower every day. They are given the option to shower in the evenings when the showers are open, but that is a communal shower environment in which they share in normal dormitories the ratio of maybe 15 showers for 250 inmates. There is a period of time in which the showers are open and they have to take advantage of it. If they're not in that environment at that time or overslept, they just are not showered. They're also required to go to call-outs and have other obligations in which, when it comes to either the environment, TV, they share one communal TV per pod or per unit, in which they all have to decide what channel. So there is nothing individually catered to that individual inmate serving life. They have to share it with anywhere 70 to 150 inmates in that environment.
You indicated, I think, that a typical inmate serving life without possibility of parole is required to do work?
Yes, every inmate, whether you have an impairment, you can be a wheelchair, medically declining individual, everyone is required to have a job assignment. It can be assigned as a houseman, and in this case, most of those who are healthy, they will be given an inside grounds job, which basically means they're given manual lawnmowers, they cut grass. We're talking big acre properties within the fence line. They also prepare meals. They keep up with the day-to-day maintenance concerns. If you have any skills in maintenance, painting, repairing sidewalks, landscaping, keeping the upkeep of the prisons, of these aging prisons, they're required to work 60 hours a week at their job assignment.
And a lot of their work is done to maintain the prison that holds them.
Correct. They are basically in the business of prison world. 85% of prisons upkeep are done by inmate labor and utilizing them to keep the facility operating.
So prisoners assist in cooking and cleaning and repairing and mowing grass, you said?
Yes, sir. They prepare meals, they launder the clothes, they paint the buildings, landscaping, and any kind of repair of plumbing or framing or any kind of construction repairs that need to be done within the limits.
What if the inmate says, no, I'm not going to do this work? What happens?
What happens when any prisoner or inmate refuses to work, they will get a disciplinary report, which basically is a rule infraction. Refusing to work, and what the process is, if you refuse to work, you get placed in administrative confinement, as we often know in the business as the whole, the confinement unit. You will go through an administrative process in which the individual inmate being charged with the rule infraction will have an opportunity for it to be investigated based on the officer's report. They can call for witnesses. At a period of time, they will come across the disciplinary board, which is 2 members and sometimes 3 members of the institutional classification team. At that time, they will plead their case, and that team will make the decision with what the outcome is. And in most cases, you're found guilty and you're given a sanction of time in disciplinary confinement. And in many cases, additionally, they will take gain time. And what happens is the individual will remain in disciplinary confinement with no privileges, no access to anything but his legal paperwork. And based on their behavior while in disciplinary confinement, they will be reviewed weekly. And eventually, if they meet all the expectations, will be released back to open population.
Let us talk about inmates who are not sentenced to life without possibility of parole, but who are sentenced to death and are awaiting their executions on death row. Can you describe a death row cell to us, please?
Yes, and those, if I can digress a little, those who are sentenced to death go through a different process. They will be normally taken to RNC in North Florida, get processed within a couple of hours, and they're taken to either Union Correctional Institution. An inmate who is sitting on death row, the environment is slightly different. These are individuals that are housed alone in a 6x9 cell with their assigned toilet and stainless steel sink. They are permitted to have their own TV in their cell. They are not required to work, and they are not required to leave their cell. The meals are brought to them. Their laundry is brought to them. They have changed things on death row in the last 2 years, in which now inmates on death row have more time outside of their cells. They have visits with families. They have a tablet assigned to them where they can communicate with their family. They have day room time in which they can interact with other inmates on death row, as well as have additional recreation time outside of their cell as well.
When a death row inmate is permitted time out of his cell, does he share that time with other inmates? Is he by himself? Tell us about that.
No, he shares it with several inmates, 5 to 6, 7 inmates, when they're in the day room time, so they're in contact with other inmates on the same status on death row. Recreation, they also have access to other inmates playing basketball and having more out-of-cell time with other inmates in the same custody level.
Why are the inmates sentenced to death? Why don't they work?
The requirement is that those individuals, because of their custody level, there's very limited work assignments, and because of security grades, the expectation of the high risk, those are individuals that are classified at maximum custody, and these are the individuals, because of their sentence, have to be watched at all times and placed in a secure environment. Giving them work assignments, it's not conducive to that environment. Often they can help out if they want, but they're not required because of their custody level and the security aspects that go with it in supervising them.
Regarding death row, is there just one death row in one Florida prison and all those awaiting execution are there?
Yes, for the men, it's Union Correctional Institution, and for the women, it's at the Lowell Correctional Institution.
How many are presently on death row, do you know?
Currently, approximately 158 on death row as of today.
It seems to me there have been a great number of executions so far just this year. Do you know how many?
I think approximately 12 this year. The 13th is scheduled for sometime this month, and the next one is tentatively scheduled in late October this year.
So there have been more executions than months in the year so far.
Objection as to relevance.
Yes.
I was not the one who contacted you initially on this case. Who contacted you regarding involving you in this Soto Escalera case?
That was back on June 3rd. Sherry Schwartz, Dr. Schwartz, who's a mitigation specialist, reached out to me.
So she knew of your reputation and work in this field then?
Correct. I worked with her on some of the cases.
What were you requested to do?
I was requested to review all his corrections records, whether at the county jail, if he had any kind of prior prison involvement, review his assessment, have an in-person structured interview, assess the records that were provided to me, and give my professional opinion on how his adjustment has been while he's been in a corrections environment, and in this particular case for the last 7+ years.
Do you review records? What do you do?
Yes, I review records. I reviewed in this particular case over 220 records, pages of records that were provided to me for the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office jail operations based on his state since he's been booked there.
Did you get a chance to meet with or speak to Jose at any point?
Yes, I met with him on August 1st of 2025 for about an hour and a half at the St. Lucie County Jail, in which I had an in-person structured interview to meet with him.
Has Jose been in the St. Lucie County Jail since September 2018 consistently?
Yes.
Did you review any disciplinary reports regarding Jose Soto Escalera from the St. Lucie County Jail during his 7 years of incarceration?
Yes, I did.
How many DRs or disciplinary referrals did you see in the records?
He technically had 3, but the way some jails do it, they lump them together. He had a disciplinary report back in 11/14 of 2019, and it was for unauthorized area while count, in which basically he was found guilty of that. Basically, during the count time in which they account for inmates, he was not where he should have been. They accounted for him, but he was not in the assigned area, in which they keep 30 days probation, which basically means don't mess up again or we'll take your privilege of this. And then in April 24th, 25, he had taken a table and some chairs to his cell, and when they were getting ready to lock down so he could play cards. So they actually wrote him up at having a hand and causing a disturbance to operations, in which he shouldn't have done it, but unfortunately he got caught and he was given disciplinary infraction, in which he pled guilty to.
Any disciplinary referrals regarding fighting, violence toward other inmates or towards guards?
No, none of the records provided to me show any incidents or anything relating to any kind of violence, either with other inmates or with any of the staff or the corrections officers.
Do you yourself speak Spanish, sir?
Yes, I do.
Did you talk to Jose in English or Spanish or both?
I spoke to him in English. He speaks Spanish. We might have said a few words in Spanish, but everything was English-based.
Based on your training and years of experience and having reviewed the records, is 7 years of incarceration consistently sufficient for you to review Jose's situation and render an opinion about his future behavior while in custody?
Yes, sir. 7 years is a good amount of time in which someone who comes into a jail environment, corrections environment, to assess them based on how well they adjusted to the environment, both from a medical, physical perspective as well as behaviors. Yes, sir.
And what did you conclude specifically then about Jose Soto Escalera's suitability or unsuitability to be a prisoner?
Well, I assessed based on my years of experience and training, here you had an individual who was booked for a crime which was well publicized. The individual has been at the county jail, which understanding the county jail environment and the prison environment sort of has its differences, where county jails have inmates that come and go every day from misdemeanors to major felony cases, where the population in the county jail is very fluid. Didn't see anything in his records that show that he had to remain in protective custody. Didn't see anything in his records that gave the impression or alluded to him not adjusting well. He followed all the rules. 7 years, he received 2 DRs. They were not major DRs. In fact, one was just getting probation. So at the end of the day, someone who's sitting in a county jail for 7 years with a fluid inmate population, where in that environment, inmates tend to try each other. They're either victims or victors. At the end of the day, he steered away from that. The records indicate he followed the rules. He stayed out of everyone's way. He didn't cause anyone any kind of challenges, and he's adjusted well in the prison, in the jail environment, which would indicate someone like him, when sent to prison, will adjust well, stature-wise, behavior-wise. He will follow the rules and regulations in that environment without any concerns, based on the records I reviewed.
When you met with Jose, did you have a chance to discuss his work history at all?
Yes, I did. Had the opportunity, part of the structured interview, talk of education, in which he told me he did not obtain his high school diploma, but he did obtain many other trades. He has experience in the carpentry field, profession, construction, laborer, framer. Some of the skills that he's mastered in the construction environment was something he was very well versed and knowledgeable and had work experience in.
Do any of those skills and abilities equip him to be a useful worker as a prisoner?
Someone like him, based on my many years of experience, particularly in classification, when they come to the reception center and end up at a permanent camp, what they do is they interview him based on his skills, because unfortunately prisons are, getting old and aged. So basically we assign work assignments. So every prison has assignments for carpenters, electricians, painters, general maintenance. And someone like him, who after a period of 60 to 90 days, who has done the entry-level jobs such as inside grounds and heat, and they've proven to be a good worker based on the review we'll get every week and every month by the officers, will be basically assigned an assignment such as maintenance, so he can use his skills to help the upkeep of the prison. And basically it's an opportunity for the prison system to have free labor at the expense of the inmate being held accountable to perform those duties based on the need of the institution.
Did Jose's charges and current placement at the jail for these 7 years render him ineligible from participating in jail educational programs?
Based on the records I've seen, and because when you have cases like this, based on the category classification level, which he's at the highest level, they do not, most jails like St. Lucie do not offer them the opportunity to have those education programs. And most likely, when he goes into the prison system, that will be the same approach. The investment, if sentenced to life, will not be for someone like him. They will utilize him for labor, and what he can help is sweat equity and keeping the prisons upkeep.
So I'm not sure of the answer. Could you have to clarify that? If it's a yes or no, I'm not sure what the answer was.
Did you hear the judge?
Repeat it. Judge, Your Honor?
Yes. Could you clarify as far as how it's been in the jail and what it would be like in general population? It seemed to me that you were equating the two, and then there was a difference between the two. I wasn't sure what you were saying, what it would be like in prison and how it's been in the jail. You want to just clarify your answer?
Okay, Your Honor, so to clarify that, so in the jail environment, there's a lot of moving population types. So when I was referencing that, was based on his adjustment in the jail environment. Most inmates who are in the jail environment for a long period of time sometimes fights and have aggressive behavior based on the type of inmates that come in and out of that jail environment. Based on his 7 years, he's adjusted well, which based on my experience, someone like him who ends up in the prison system should adjust well. The only difference in the prison environment, Your Honor, is those individuals are actually assigned to that prison for several years, and we assign them based on their labor skills and what they can do to keep the facility operating. Does that answer your question, Your Honor?
Thank you.
As long as Mr. Burns is comfortable with the answer, that's fine.
Yes, that's all right. Thank you, Judge. Now, I think you may have answered this question already. If this jury recommends that Jose be executed and that's what the judge orders, I think you said he would be welcomed into the system at the North Florida Reception Center, and then he would go immediately to death row in Union Correctional. Is that correct?
Correct. It's normally done within several hours. They basically process them and move them into death row status.
And if Jose was sentenced to life without parole, where would he go? Do you know?
Because in St. Lucie County, he would go to Central Florida Reception Center. There's actually 4 male reception centers. He will be transferred to the reception center, in which he will remain there anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks as he goes into the assessment process. And based on his medical grade, dental grade, psych grade, his assessment for classification, as well as his security level, he will be assigned to a permanent prison throughout the state of Florida. Either, and most likely will be North Florida, where we have most of the prisons that house life inmates.
Now, in reviewing your notes here, I see that in Florida Department of Corrections, there must be facilities that are characterized as faith and character facilities. Is that correct?
Yes, they're known as faith and character-based facility, and often some of them are also in conjunction with incentivized prisons as well.
And would Jose be a good fit for a faith and character facility?
The criteria for that is something he would have to earn. You have to have anywhere from 24 to 36 months in the prison system without any rule infractions, any kind of violence, in which at that point, wherever he's assigned, he can put in for that. But that goes through an assessment process, through classification, and gets approved all the way in central office. So it's something that he would have to earn and not automatically considered for.
So you have reviewed Jose's records, you have met with him, you have the experience and education that you have told us about. Do you believe that Jose could contribute and be a contributor, even if it be only to the state prison system, if he were sentenced to life without parole?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, I do.
The jury has been told by authoritative sources before, but I'll ask you also, does life without parole mean life without parole in Florida?
Yes, everyone, because parole doesn't exist since the 80s. Every inmate who was sentenced to the Department of Corrections with life without parole will never leave the prison fence line unless they're required to go out for a medical run, in which the proper security components. Other than that, they would expire their life in prison and be removed in a body bag, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have for you.
Cross-examination?
No questions from the state.
May Mr. Bonasco be released at this time?
You may, Judge. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to end the Zoom sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are there other Zoomers or?
No, I have one person live.
Okay, so
We have her
I
son
will
in the
end the
hallway.
Zoom then. Okay. End the Zoom. And did you need a break at this time or?
No, we can proceed unless
Okay.
the jury needs a break.
Does jury need a restroom break? No, we're good. Okay, you may call your next witness.
Is Lucinda Cook, may we have her?
Sure.
Summoned from
Lucinda
the hallway.
Cook.
Cook.
Raise your right hand and face the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
That way the witness.
And you may inquire of the witness, Mr. Burns, when ready.
Thank you. Sit real close to that microphone in front of you, ma'am. Tell us who you are.
I'm Lucinda Cook.
Speak up nice and loud. Who are you?
I'm Lucinda Cook.
Okay, Lucinda Cook. You see Jose there?
I do.
How do you know him?
I used to date him many years ago.
Can you give us a time frame?
2006 for about 4 or 5 years.
2006 to 2010, 2011, somewhere in there?
12, yeah.
And how well would you say you know Jose?
I knew the man that I was with back then very well.
You know that he has now been convicted of murdering a lady and her unborn baby, correct?
Yes.
And you're not here to quarrel with the jury about that.
No.
But is it fair to say that you do not recognize that murder in the Jose that you knew?
Absolutely not.
What were your circumstances when you met Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, a 10-year abusive relationship.
Did you have children?
I have 3.
How old were your children when you met Jose?
4, 2, and a newborn.
How did you meet Jose?
A barbecue, a friend's barbecue.
And was it a slow developing relationship or swiftly developing?
I mean, both. I mean, we dated for a year before we lived together.
Did you live together for that 4 or 5 years? Yes, and you say yes or no.
I did.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you. Just so the record has it.
Yes.
Everybody knows what you mean, but the record needs to be clear. And you were about how old then when you met Jose in 2006?
24, 23.
When you were with Jose, how was he with your young children?
He loves children. He was very good with them.
And how did your children react to Jose?
They liked him as well.
How did you feel being in a relationship with Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, so I wasn't very nice to him. But he did everything he knew to do to display a great characteristic of a man that my son should look up to.
Did Jose make you feel safe coming out of that relationship?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your children also?
Yes.
You indicated that I think maybe as a result of where your head was at coming out of that relationship, you said you were not always very nice to Jose.
I was not nice to the man at all. Sorry.
You were mean to him, I think you characterized. Is that correct?
Yes.
How so?
Everything was worth an argument. Everything he did was wrong. pushed his motorcycle down the driveway. I spit in his face, told him to leave.
When
You
you
know.
had disagreements and arguments with Jose, did he get violent with you?
Never, ever.
I
I
think
didn't
you-
even get an argument out of him.
I think you just told us in one of your disagreements you spat upon him. How did he react to that?
Just wiped it off.
You mentioned a motorcycle. Jose had a super duper tricked out motorcycle, yes?
Yes, sir.
Paint job, lots of chrome. He loved it. What did you do to it?
Pushed it down the driveway
Because you were angry at him?
because he wasn't moving fast enough. I was really mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think you, was that toward the end of the relationship, you had enough, you said he'd go, but you punctuated that request by damaging his motorcycle?
I was just mean and he wasn't moving fast enough. I don't know.
What did
It's
he
a lot
do?
of years ago.
What did he do when you did he see you damage the motorcycle?
Yeah, he was right there.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. He just picked up the motorcycle and drove away.
So despite provocations, you have not ever seen Jose to be violent, is that so?
I've never seen the man be violent, and his occupation was a bouncer. I never even seen him fight a man.
And even when he was working security at clubs, he wouldn't fight.
Never. He was like a clown.
But there were other women in Jose's life, correct? And that's kind of why you ended it with him.
I just had a drama-free life, and the extra drama from having multiple kids' mothers. I just didn't want my kids to witness it. Or I
Yes,
didn't want,
one or more of Jose's other women would occasionally come around and interrupt your life. Is that correct?
because of their own problems, not necessarily my problems.
Would you describe Jose as easily excited and angered, or a calm person?
I'm not sure that I've ever seen him super angry, not to a violent state. I mean, mad at something, work or something, but not angry enough to do something.
You know, earlier today I told the judge, and then later I told this jury, that a lot of witnesses I was counting on didn't show up, but you are here. Why have you come?
Joselito did everything during our 4-year relationship that he should have to display great characteristic of a man for my children. He would, an example of a man that I should have probably treated a little better. And I was just, I can't sleep at night knowing that he's gonna lose his life. And I was so mean to him for no reason at all.
Well, we don't know that yet. Do you want him to lose his life?
No.
Thank you. That's all I have from you, man. Thank you so much.
Cross-examination?
So, okay, so let me just figure out the timeline here. It sounds like you started dating the defendant in 2006, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then you broke up with him in 2013?
Late 11, 12, yeah.
2012? Okay, and if I understand correctly, you used to work down here at the gas station located at Midway and Selvas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you used to see the defendant every once in a while when he'd come into the gas station, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I recall correctly, you did not speak to him when he came in.
I never spoke to him again until recently, after I left him.
Right, so when the defendant would come into the gas station, you ignored him
I treated him like a stranger.
and treated him like a stranger, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, and then from 2012 up until just a few weeks ago, you didn't speak to him at all,
Absolutely not.
right? So 13 years went by and you didn't speak a word to it.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then when you did speak to him again just a few weeks ago, was that after the trial started?
I'm not sure. I didn't follow it or his situation. I've been getting phone calls from his children trying to get me to talk to him, but I didn't know why. I didn't know, I didn't follow. I don't watch TV. So I didn't know what was really going on. And I prayed on it for a while before I made my decision to help him.
Okay, but you said you spoke to him for the first time after 13 years a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
So my question is how many weeks? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? How many, what would you say?
Let's go with a month. I don't know. I wasn't really recording dates. I didn't think I was.
A month. Okay, gotcha. And a lot can change with somebody after 13 years, is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. No further questions.
Thank you.
You redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. May Ms. Cook be released from subpoena if she is under subpoena at this time?
Yes, sir, she's on the speech.
Any objection?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. You're released from your subpoena at this time. You're free to stay or leave as you wish. And counsel, if you want to approach.
Thank you.
So while they approaching the bench, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe she was doing her good deed for the year for him, because I don't understand what 2006 got to do with anything that happened in 2018. Yeah, like they had been broke up. So all that stuff that she talking about is kind of like null and void. And she looked like she probably was on the other side of the tracks at one point in time in her life too. So let's see where we're at in regards to them approaching the bench, and we will see if we are done for today.
Any other issues for us to address before we break until the morning?
No,
Defense? All right, we'll see you in the morning. The interpreter is going to be here at 8:30 to assist you all. I'll be here at 8:45, and then the jury's coming at 9:30, so we're on track. And we'll see you in the morning. Enjoy your evening.
I'm muted. Okay. So they are done for the day. It appears that they had a lot of people that were going to testify. They backed out of testifying, saying that they were receiving threats, and that's why the defense is emphasizing in regards to making emphasis on the fact that, hey, we had these witnesses scheduled and they all backed out on us. So it looked like they scrambling and scraping to get people in to testify on his behalf in order to save his life. The next witnesses will be in tomorrow, from my understanding. So we will pick up tomorrow for Mr. Soto case, right? I am going to drop the link for the room for our sentencing phase for our guy, Tony Earls. So I am going to get that. Let me get the details for that one. And I'll drop that link in the chat. Then that way, if you guys want to come over and watch the sentencing portion for Tony, if you guys are unaware, he was found guilty yesterday in regards to a manslaughter charge for the unaliving of Arlene Arnaz. So he is currently going for sentencing. Okay, right here is the link. If you want to head over to the new room, and I'll put out the notification for this one for part 2 tomorrow. Okay. So we are going to go, we're about to travel over to Texas. We are leaving Florida right now, and we are going over to Texas and continuing our sentencing trial for Tony Earls, who was convicted yesterday of manslaughter. All right, guys, I will see you over there. I'm going to go ahead and end this one now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And if you just came over here for the Pregnant Mistress trial, we'll be back in the courtroom live tomorrow. Have a great one.